So, Alex, your third game of
Ooh,
2022 is.
is going to be, and just to be controversial, I'm going to say God of War Ragnarok. Yeah, I said it.
Ooh, third placement.
Yeah, great game. We've spoken about it loads of times on the podcast. You've heard it a lot of times today, and everybody's playing that game. Well deserved to be number three.
Fabulous. I'm gonna
Take that
go with
screenshot.
my
That needs to be the thumbnail.
You're on crack today. What's going on, man?
crack.
Let's go switch it up a bit, man. Come on. All right.
My third game of 2022 is Dark Pictures, The Devil in Me. So it's scary, well thought out, well acted
Nice.
and executed. Such immersive sounds, the sense of panic to keep people alive is real. And this for me is the closest that Supermassive have got to the Until Dawn magic. I will never ever get the same feeling as I did playing Until Dawn. I still have that, but it did come pretty close.
Ooh. Supermassive Games, one of the best names for a developer in the entire industry. Supermassive Games, love it. Anyway, but yes, great shout out. Great shout out.
Sunny.
You just got me thinking about Until Dawn now, man. What a game. So my third is God of... Yeah, you're only joking. I'm not on crack. Is Gran Turismo 7. That will be my third. It was so funny because I had to go onto my app just to look at all the trophies. I was like, what have I actually played this year? And I haven't actually played that much. I was like, oh shit. But I'm going to give it to Gran Turismo 7 because it was a game that came for me at the right time. You know, I had that racing simulation itch. Like I wanted a serious racing game. And I was just like, oh, Gran Turismo is going to come out. I'll get that. So I got Gran Turismo 7, and then you get the sound, which I mentioned earlier in the show, the visuals as well. And the good thing about Gran Turismo 7 is I don't have to just keep playing it. I can pick it up, play it, put it down, not touch it for weeks, pick it up, play it, put it down. So I can do that. I don't have to rush in case Gran Turismo 8 comes out, because that ain't coming out this generation. What helped is that Asim, the former host that you mentioned before, Demi, he reviewed the game. So he was just telling me how great the game was and obviously what he could say. And then obviously once the embargo lifted and we saw the reviews, we were like, wow. But I love it. Sometimes you just want to pick up a game for 10 minutes and just race, you know, drive really fast.
Yeah.
And that's what this game lets you do, you know. And especially when you jump online and you see these people. Like I remember this one memory. I wasn't even like, I don't win in Gran Turismo online because there's some serious players on Gran Turismo when you go online, right? So I was just kind of just leaning back and I was just racing. I was just like, yeah, this is fun, watching it. And then there was a big crash and I managed to like weave through it like Nicolas Cage in The Rock in the Ferrari when he's chasing Sean Connery. And I was like, oh shit, I'm in second. And
Nice.
I'll never forget this. I sat up and I really focused. I was braking and accelerating. I was getting off the handbrake, everything. I was simulation racing my heart off to catch this guy. And I caught him up and I was like, I'm going to take him on the last turn, but I've got to take a risk. And I hit the most beautiful drift around the corner, caught up in line with him, and then I hit a lamppost. But that moment before the lamppost was exceptional. Loved it, you know. And then when I hit the lamppost, I was absolutely fucking fuming because I couldn't get back in the race, right?
Tony, I could rewind.
I know, I just missed by an inch to get that drift perfect. And then the guy messaged me after saying almost. I was like, you little cock. But nonetheless, it was a great moment. And one that I'll never forget. So Gran Turismo 7 is my number 3.
While you're at it,
Nice.
Sunny, you might as well say your second.
Okay, so number 2 goes to Horizon Forbidden West. Now, this is a game that sat at number 1 for a very long time. And I mentioned it before, the game is beautiful, you know. That is just one aspect of why it's my number 2. It's what you go in there and, you know, when people talk about metaverse and stuff like that, what Facebook or Meta want to do is create a digital world, you know, Ready Player One. but you need the world first. You need to get that right. And Horizon just has, even the first game had it, but this game just took it to another level. Just the NPCs, the stories, the lore, the characters, the just the shit that was going on in the world around you while you're walking around. I was just like flipping it. And I was testing it out. I was trying to break that game. And what I really loved about Horizon was no matter what order you did the missions, it would change how they spoke to you. So you could do a mission by accident that was already for an NPC, and it wouldn't be a case of he gives you the mission, you walk away, and then you go back to him, and he'll go, "Oh, thank you for finishing that mission." It wasn't like typical video game trope. It was, I have this mission for you, but I think you may have already come across this. And I was just like, oh, that is smart. And it was just the little details that made it come together. And the crazy bombastic ending as well. I was just like, wow. So, yeah. And I haven't even spoken about the combat. You know, what a game. The combat is unbelievable. And you can fucking fly. That's all I'm saying. You can fly in the game.
You can fly.
You know what I mean?
Now?
Come fly with me, let's fly away. That's my number 2, Horizon.
Nice.
Interesting. Mine is A Plague Tale Requiem. So I loved the first game, and this game really, really did outperform the original in every area for me. It's such a beautiful story, and it's told with amazing visuals, sound, and the performance as well. I love this one. I highly recommend it. I mean, game recommendation. But yeah, this one is this one is fabulous. I love it so much. Alex.
Yeah, so look at that, fans. You got your game recommendation for a week.
Exactly.
Always thinking about the fans. For me, number 2 would be a game that hasn't actually been mentioned in this episode, and that is the game called Sifu, pronounced Shifu,
Nice.
by Slow Clap Games. This game was one of the standout games when they announced it first. I can't remember when, it's just been so long ago, but it's one of the first games that we ever heard were coming out for the PS5. The concept alone is amazing. The fact that it's not only a single player campaign kung fu action extravaganza, it pays so much homage to films like Fearless, like Jackie Chan's Drunken Master, The Matrix. You've even got a bit of John Wick in there. And the whole idea that it's a simple revenge story, but with a twist. Whenever you get killed, you age, and depending on how well you do, will determine how old you actually, how many years you actually age until I think you expire at about 70 or just before.
Oh, I love
But yeah,
that.
but with that, it's like you get more skills. So the older you get, you've harnessed your abilities. You're a lot more efficient, even though you're a bit slower. You've still got power, but obviously you can still get pushed around. And like the attention to those little details it's just a great addition to the game and to the industry, really, because I don't think I've ever seen a game like this, to the point where, I mean, even fans online were modding the game for themselves, and they even put John Wick in the place of our main protagonist. And from that, now we've actually got the John Wick producers actually saying that, yeah, we're actually going to make the Sifu game. So, sorry, not the Sifu game, the Sifu film. So hopefully that should turn out to be an amazing film if it does actually get released in the next, 2 years, 3 years, whatever. But anyway, it's going to be a great addition to the franchise, and forever expanding the Sifu universe. So it's definitely a game which I'd recommend to everybody. I would have actually put it up there with one of the biggest surprises of the year if it wasn't for that controversial Last of Us Part 1 entry. But definitely. If you haven't played it yet, definitely go out there, get your hands on it. I think it's on offer right now on the PlayStation Store. Sifu. Cannot recommend it enough.
Oh, fabulous. I really agree. It is really those little details that really do make it, don't they? Keep you on your toes, huh?
Definitely.
So, Alex, I mean, we might as well already get started with you. This is your game of the year 22. What are you saying?
My game of the year. Obviously, I would have said God of War Ragnarok, but that's been done. Everyone's saying God of War Ragnarok. Sifu was my number two, so I'm going for number one is Stray. No, not really. I'm not going for Stray. I'm not going to say that. That's being insult to everybody. Now, for me, I'm finishing the year with the game that I started the year with, and that is Horizon Forbidden West. An amazing game, simply amazing. It's a beautiful game, stunning. Like Sunny mentioned, you could just look at the game. I mean, it's called Horizon for a reason. I mean, you could literally just stare at the horizon and just watch how the day just turns to night, to day. The mechanics of it look great, whether it's the weather mechanics, whether it's the character models, the animations, the mechs, everything that we've mentioned before. And to me, it really, truly felt like, even though it was released on the PS4 as well, this actually felt like a true PS5 game. And it was the one that just is welcoming a lot of gamers who are picking up the PS5 for the first time. This is going to be the game that they play. And of all the games, obviously, it may not be suitable for all ages. The various games that we've mentioned in this podcast, like God of War. But yeah, this is definitely one which I'm sure a lot of people can play. So I'm sure it's going to be on a lot of people's Christmas lists as well. And yeah, it's going to be an evergreen title, synonymous with the PS5. Horizon Forbidden West, a great addition to the franchise. They're going to be expanding the universe as well with a new TV show or movie. So, and for good reason. And also, we're going to get the PSVR 2 edition, which is called Call of the Mountain, I believe. So hopefully we see a bit more of that in the Sony showcase at next year's CES show, which we mentioned in the podcast previously. But yes, for me, the game, Alex's game of 2022, Horizon Forbidden West. Go get it.
Right. Well, this is going to be really awkward because I'm going to have to second you again there, Alex.
What?
This is my game of the year. Also, Alex!
Boom.
Horizon Forbidden West is
Virtual
my game
high five.
of the year.
Yeah, amazing.
And obviously, you have introduced this quite beautifully for me. But my goodness, I knew the game was going to be an improvement on the first, but guys, you can fly.
You can fly now?
Need a day more? Yes, I must. The combat, the visuals, the world, the ending. I was engrossed from start to finish. Favorite game of the year by a stretch. Obviously, Alex took the words right out of my mouth. And I cannot wait for Burning Shores next year.
Ooh, nice little drop. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, high five. Yeah, I can't even second it even more.
High five.
Second it again. High five. Horizon. But anyway, Sunny, what is your game of 2022?
It would have been Football fucking Manager had it launched on PS5, but it didn't launch on PS5. Sports Interactive. I know a few of you listen to this show. Where is the PS5 version? Fucking hell.
I can hear him now.
It started with the show. It's gone out throughout the show. It's been a thread, so I might as well end it with the final thread. It's God of War Ragnarok, ladies and gentlemen.
Sponsored by Santa Monica.
Now, it was so funny because I'm going to say this straight. It is not, for me personally, it's not better than God of War 2018. And that's because God of War 2018 came out of nowhere. It evolved a character that I grew up with from when I was young. And everything was new and it fresh and it was all shiny. And it was stunning. And then God of War Ragnarok was everything of that, even better, but it just didn't have that fresh shiny feeling to it like the first one did, you know what I mean? But it still stood out head and shoulders above everything for me. It told an absolutely stunning story between father and son and the dynamic and the relationship between those two. It took every... It's so funny because you look at this game, this ultra violent game with layers of combat that is now vertical as well. Nice. And it put it in this beautiful world, and amongst all the blood and the violence and the guts is this entwined beautiful story for these characters that you could miss if you don't explore and do the side missions and stuff. There is a huge section dedicated to a character who's in the first game who is also in this game. I'm not going to say names because it will spoil it. but it's in a side mission, and if you don't do the side mission, you don't see that. You know what I mean? And it's crazy. So I was just like, wow. And it's what the first God of War 2018 did, and what this game did even better is they hid the absolute best and deepest story beats just hidden in the world for you to find. And the great thing about God of War from an artistic standpoint, and it's funny because loads of films have taken a page out of 2018's book and done a single take, no cut on the camera whatsoever. Yeah. To do that in film is really hard because obviously the actors have got to do the entire film, right, without the camera breaking in that single take. And you can imagine that in a video game where you've got to keep this video game going without the screen going black at all. So the way the camera, and as a gamer, you know that from the first game, so you're watching carefully. I'm like, where are they going to mess up? Where are they going to mess up? But the camera switches, unbelievable. And you're just like, how? That just happened right in front of my eyes and I didn't even notice. And I'm just like, holy shit. Like, even when, like, a character will go into a flashback, it will flash back without cutting the screen. So it's loaded everything without you even knowing. You know what I mean? And it's just like, whoa. And when it finally does cut out, which is obviously when you finish the epilogue at the end of the game, it is an absolutely beautiful way to do it. And I was just like, this game, Nico said it, man, like it does God of War 2018 in every way. The only thing is just this game. There's a reason why every award show is God of War Ragnarok, why everybody's saying God of War Ragnarok. It's funny as hell, you know what I mean? But it's such a good game. Such a good game. I hurt my thumb. It was so funny because that game came out a week or 2 weeks after, Demi, you asked that question about that listener said he was playing Elden Ring for so long and got claw hands and stuff like that. And it was so because my thumb hasn't stopped hurting since I played God of War Ragnarok, and I'm just like, what? I thought I would be boxing and I hurt my thumb, but no, it's from God of War Ragnarok. And I'm like, why is my thumb still messed up? Like, I don't know, but worth the pain. Game of the year, God of War Ragnarok.
Have you experienced thumb injuries? Have you experienced any injuries anywhere while playing God of War? Call this number. 0800. God of War hurt me.
God of War helpline.
God of War helpline.
I think they needed it, man. They needed it.
Oh my gosh, guys, that is it. What a way to round off the year, right?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Wow. Yeah, impressive. Especially with that newcomer, God of War. I mean, I've never heard of that game before in my life. And
I know, right?
Yeah, it just seems to be the one. I need to play it.
The one and only, I know.